Weed of the week is Heath Aster. It's a tough one to identify. It's not a commonly found weed.
We don't have to have a commonly found weed, Brian. We just need a difficult to control weed to talk about during our Weed of the Week segment. And this one is no exception.
Right, because it's a perennial. It reproduces by seed, by rhizomes, and by stolons. I love those stolons. We don't get to talk about those real often. The rhizomes, by the way, are these roots that run underground that can put up new shoots. Stolons actually can run above the surface of the soil and put out new shoots.
Well, here's why it gets to be tough to control with rhizomes and stolons, because most of the time farmers are going out in fields or gardeners are going out in their gardens, and what do they do to control a majority of the weeds? They do some tillage. So when you chop up these rhizomes and these stolons, you haven't killed the plant. In fact, you may have made things worse.
Yeah, because there are growing points all the way along these rhizomes and stolons. So the only way you can really get at all of those is to get a herbicide control out there, something like Roundup or Tordon that's going to go all the way through that extensive root system and knock out every single one of those growing points.
All right, well, here's another challenge, is this weed is typically found in non-crop areas. So it's not out in fields where you could potentially spray Roundup because you want to kill everything else. It may be found in an area where there's lots of grass that you don't want to kill, so Roundup's out.
Yep, you could use something like Velpar, or what we would probably use on our farm would be 2,4-D. Just a high rate of 2,4-D will be fine as long as you spray it at a very high rate, multiple times per year, for multiple years. Then you will come close to doing what Roundup can do.
Yeah, I just like Tordon. A high rate of Tordon does a pretty decent job. And I know it costs a little bit of money to use straight Tordon, but really, if you've got just a small patch of weeds, go out and knock it out and take care of that.
But just don't forget with the Tordon, that will kill trees, so that can't be anywhere near shelter belts if you're using that. That's why I would use 2,4-D.
That's all the time we have for our Weed of the Week, Heath Aster, but there's more Ag PhD to come right after this.